Welcome back to the channel, everyone. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an update. Today, we're diving deep into a topic that's been making waves and grabbing headlines in the political world: Donald Trump's cabinet chaos. This is a true masterclass in dysfunction and disarray, one that continues to unfold before our eyes. We all remember the chaos surrounding Trump's first presidential term, but the unfolding events of his 2024 campaign and transition are shaping up to be even more dramatic. From cabinet picks to key personnel changes, Trump's leadership team is once again exhibiting signs of turmoil, disorganization, and a failure to follow through with the commitments and promises of a smooth transition. Just when you think things can't get any worse, the former president's transition team, now operating under his second presidential bid, is proving that lessons have not been learned. Cabinet members are being nominated and quickly withdrawn, people are being fired before they even start their jobs, and key legal advisors are shuffled around like a game of musical chairs. In today's video, we'll break down the latest developments, focusing on the most notable figures involved, and offer a deeper look into the chaos that has come to define Trump's leadership style. This is Donald Trump's cabinet chaos, a true spectacle of dysfunction, and we're here to unpack it all. The Trump cabinet picks, a roller coaster of events. The very first sign of trouble came when Trump began announcing his cabinet picks for his second administration. Many people were already skeptical of whether the former president, after spending years out of office, could assemble a competent team. But the reality has been far more chaotic than even his most vocal critics could have imagined. His transition team, which was supposed to provide a smooth handover, appears to be crumbling under its own weight, and the public is watching it all unfold. Take, for example, Chad Chronister, the former sheriff of Hillsborough County in Florida, who was named as Trump's pick to head the Drug Enforcement Administration, DEA. Initially, this seemed like a reasonable choice. Chronister was well known in his community, and his law enforcement background fit the bill for a role overseeing the nation's fight against drug trafficking. But things quickly took a dramatic turn when Chronister withdrew his nomination, citing personal reasons. The reason? Well, it turns out that Chronister had been in favor of COVID-19 isolation measures during the pandemic, a stance that didn't sit well with Trump, who has long been opposed to such restrictions. Trump, in a classic move, claimed that he had already fired Chronister before he even officially hired him. This bizarre situation was just one of many. Trump's transition team, working under the banner of Project 2025, promised a much more disciplined approach this time around. But these early missteps show that nothing has changed in Trump's approach to leadership. His so-called smooth transition has already been a failure. From losing top candidates to firing people before their confirmation, it's clear that his team is in disarray. High-profile cabinet losses, a pattern of failure. But the hits keep coming. Matt Gaetz, who was initially touted as a potential attorney general pick, faced intense scrutiny over his alleged involvement in sex trafficking, which was a huge blow to Trump's attempts to assemble a clean team. Pete Hegseth, another controversial pick for Secretary of Defense, was caught in the midst of allegations of sexual assault and public intoxication, among other things. These were more than just rumors. They were significant red flags that Trump's team seemed to ignore in their rush to secure loyalists. The situation with Hegseth was particularly problematic. Here was a man with serious accusations hanging over him, and yet Trump's team pushed forward with him as a candidate for one of the most important roles in his administration. Ultimately, Hegseth didn't make it, but the sheer disregard for the vetting process was alarming. These aren't isolated incidents either. Trump's administration has historically been plagued by poor vetting, and his second attempt at returning to power seems to be no different. And let's not forget the deep ties to controversy that many of these individuals have. From alleged financial mismanagement to abuse of power, the cabinet picks are a reflection of the chaos that Trump's leadership is known for. The White House counsel shuffle, a power struggle behind closed doors. Perhaps one of the most bizarre developments in the Trump camp has been the shifting of top legal advisors within the White House. This isn't just a minor reshuffle. This is a direct result of internal power struggles. Take the case of Bill McGinley, whom Trump named as his White House counsel in an apparent effort to bring some order to the legal chaos. McGinley, a seasoned political operator with ties to the Republican National Committee, was initially a promising pick, and it seemed like he would help steer the Trump administration through legal minefields. But then, in a sudden twist, Trump decided to move McGinley to a completely different role. He was moved to head up a non-existent agency, a so-called government efficiency body led by Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, which seemed more like a diversion than anything of substance. What was even more curious was the fact that David Warrington, who had been with Trump for years and was conducting an internal investigation into one of Trump's most loyal figures, Boris Epshteyn, suddenly found himself back in the picture. Warrington, who had been investigating Boris Epshteyn for potential pay-to-play activities, was initially left out of the White House counsel role, but now he was brought back. This move suggests that Epshteyn, who had played a critical role in selecting cabinet members, may be on his way out of the inner circle. It's a game of musical chairs in the Trump world, and it's not a good look for the people who've been running his campaign. Boris Epshteyn, the fall of a loyal Trump ally? Which brings us to Boris Epshteyn, one of the most intriguing and controversial figures in Trump's orbit. Epshteyn has been a key architect of Trump's campaign strategy, having orchestrated much of the selection process for Trump's cabinet picks. He's been a trusted advisor for years, and his influence has often been compared to that of a puppet master pulling the strings behind the scenes. But in recent weeks, it appears that Epshteyn's stock is on the decline.
Why?
The answer lies in the growing investigation into pay-to-play allegations involving Epshteyn, who reportedly used his position to recommend people for cabinet roles in exchange for money. This is the kind of scandal that could bring down any administration, and for someone like Trump, who has been associated with various scandals throughout his career, it's even more dangerous. What's especially interesting is the fact that Epshteyn's position in the administration is now in question. Despite his key role in cabinet selection, there has been no official announcement about what job he will hold once Trump returns to office. Some have speculated that he would be named as a special advisor to the president or perhaps a Middle East envoy, but those positions have already been filled. For now, Epshteyn finds himself without a chair in the game of musical chairs that is Trump's inner circle. This could signal the beginning of the end for Epshteyn's influence in the Trump world, and it's clear that David Warrington's return as White House counsel is a major blow to him. The man who was once investigating Epshteyn for potential misconduct is now in a position to guide the president's legal strategy. A bigger picture, the legacy of chaos and dysfunction. What we're witnessing here is not just a series of individual incidents. It's a reflection of Trump's leadership style and how he has run his business and political career. From his first term to now, Trump has shown a consistent pattern of chaos, disorganization, and failed leadership. Despite his claims of running a smooth operation, the evidence speaks for itself. There is no discipline, no long-term vision, and no commitment to the kind of stability that the American people expect from their leaders. This disarray is unsustainable for any government, and it is particularly dangerous when it involves the highest offices in the land. Trump's cabinet, like his first term, is proving to be a house of cards, fragile and prone to collapse at any moment. As we watch the Trump campaign continue to falter, it's becoming increasingly clear that his bid for the presidency is more about personal vendettas and power struggles than it is about running an effective government. The chaos within his transition team is a reflection of his broader leadership approach, reckless, self-serving, and filled with egos, backstabbing, and dysfunction. What we're seeing now is just a taste of what will happen if Trump returns to office. If this is how his 2024 campaign